It started with a dare. One stupid, tipsy dare on a night I should have said no. The music pulsed through my veins as my friends screamed over the bass, tossing out dares like confetti. I had just ended a 2-year relationship and they thought tequila and truth or dare was exactly what I needed. Sleep with the next man who walks through that door, Laura shouted, slamming her empty shot glass on the table. I laughed loudly. That's not a dare. That's suicide. But then he walked in that tall, dressed in black, hair messy like he forgot to care, and eyes, God, those eyes deep, unreadable, dangerous. He looked like a secret I was never meant to know. You said it. Laura nudged me. No backing out now. His name was Jay. He didn't smile much, barely spoke, but when our eyes met across the bar, something inside me stilled. I didn't know it then, but I had just walked into a storm with no way out. We ended up in his penthouse. No words, just fire. The kind that doesn't ask for permission. The kind that devours. I thought I was using him, but the way he looked at me after, it wasn't like I was a stranger. It was like I was his. He held me afterward, silent. No small talk, no promises. Just fingers tracing the outline of my spine like he was memorizing a language only I spoke. And then, in the early morning light, I got up, put on my clothes, and left. No number, no name, no goodbye, just like I planned. But the ache in my chest wasn't part of the plan. I told myself it was just one night, a beautiful, reckless night, until 2 days later. He showed up at my office. My jaw dropped. How did you? I own this company. Everything inside me screamed to run. But he smiled for the first time, and said, why did you leave? I was good at pretending, at keeping my walls up, lips sealed, heart locked, especially at work. But when Jay stood in front of me, leaning casually against the glass door of my office like this was normal, everything inside me unraveled. You own this company? I managed to say, voice brittle. Just acquired it last week, he said smoothly. Didn't expect to see you here either. Fate. Maybe fate didn't feel like this. Fate didn't make your chest tighten and your skin burn under his stare. I'm your employee, I said firmly. Whatever happened, it can't happen again. He stepped closer. His voice dropped. Did I ask for it again? I hated that my heart skipped at that. Jay was cold fire, calculated, sharp, the kind of man who ruined women without lifting a finger. And yet, his eyes told a different story, like he was searching for something behind my armor. The next few days were chaos. He didn't touch me, didn't corner me. Just watched me from afar like I was a puzzle he couldn't crack. Until the charity gala. I wasn't supposed to go, but Laura handed me a dress and threatened to drag me herself. The moment I walked in, I felt his gaze. Jay was across the ballroom, in a black suit that made him look like sin incarnate. Women flocked to him. But his eyes never left me. He came to me when the music changed. Dance with me, Jay, just one. We danced slow, close, his hand on my waist, the other on my lower back. Every cell in my body betrayed me. I thought it was just one night. He murmured into my hair. It was. Then why are you shaking? Because I hated how he made me feel, how I wanted to let him in, I pulled away, breathless. We can't. He looked at me like he already knew something I didn't. You're lying to yourself. And I don't think you've done that in a long time. I didn't have a comeback, just a racing heart and a soul that suddenly felt far too exposed. I escaped to the balcony, needing air. But he followed. You were more than just a night for me, Jay said softly. I think you know that. I turned, voice trembling. Then, what do you want from me? His eyes darkened. Everything. And just when I thought I'd let myself fall, his phone rang. He glanced at it, froze. Then he said, without looking up, I have to go. He didn't explain, didn't ask, didn't look back. And that's when I realized he was hiding something, too. I didn't hear from Jay for 3 days. 3 long, twisting days where his absence scraped against my ribs like broken glass. I kept checking my phone like some teenage cliché, hating myself for it every single time. He'd pulled me close at the gala, whispered that he wanted everything, then left without another word. And now, nothing. Not at work, not in emails, not even a damn text. I wasn't supposed to care, but I did. And that terrified me. Lauren noticed. You're different, she said one morning. He got in your head, didn't he? I didn't answer, because the truth was too raw. That night, I did something stupid. I went to the bar where we first met. The same red neon lights, the same low music. I sat at the same table, half expecting him to walk in like some twisted full circle moment. But he didn't. Instead, a man slid into the seat across from me. Sharp suit, shifty eyes. Something about him felt wrong. You're her, he said. I blinked. Excuse me? The girl from the penthouse, he said, smirking. Jay's little secret. My blood ran cold. Who the hell are you? His brother. That stopped me. Jay never mentioned a brother. I'm Lucas, he said, and I thought you should know. Jay disappears when things get real. He's done it before. You're not special. I stood, my heart pounding. You don't know anything about me. But his voice followed as I walked away. Ask him about Olivia. Ask him what happened to her. I didn't sleep that night. The next morning, Jay was in my office. Just like that. Like he hadn't vanished. Like he didn't leave me with 1,000 unspoken questions. I'm sorry, he said. I didn't let him speak more. What happened to Olivia? The name hit him like a bullet. His jaw tightened. The warmth in his eyes turned to frost. Who told you that name? Does it matter? I snapped. She was real, wasn't she? Jay turned and closed the door. She was my fiancée, he said quietly. She died 2 years ago, in a car I was supposed to be driving. The silence that followed was suffocating. I haven't let anyone in since, he admitted. Until you. I didn't know what to say. I wanted to be angry. I wanted to scream at him for disappearing, for dragging me into a mess I didn't ask for. But all I saw was a broken man trying to breathe. Why me? I whispered. Jay stepped closer. Because when I touched you, I felt alive again. Not guilty, not frozen, just alive. I was already trembling when he leaned in and kissed me. Not like that night. This kiss was different. It wasn't fire, it was grief, hope, desperation, everything he never said, everything I never admitted. and I let him in. That night, I didn't leave. I stayed in his arms until morning dot, and for a moment, it felt like maybe, just maybe, this wasn't doomed. But the next morning, I opened his drawer while searching for a shirt, and I found a ring, a diamond ring with the name Olivia engraved inside. The date, 1 week from now. He was going to propose, 2 years too late, or to someone else. The ring burned a hole in my palm. I stared at it like it had teeth, like it might bite me if I dared to believe what I saw, engraved inside, clear as day, Olivia, forever. 7:14. A week from now. I dropped it back in the drawer like it scorched me. My body trembled as I stood there in his shirt, his scent clinging to my skin like a lie. Was I just a placeholder? A distraction while he planned to marry someone else? Or was Olivia still haunting him? Jay walked into the room, his hair messy from sleep, his voice low. "You okay?" I turned to face him, hiding the shaking in my hands. "Tell me the truth. Why do you still have her ring?" He froze. His silence was the loudest thing I'd ever heard. "I found it," I added, voice brittle. "In your drawer." Jay exhaled slowly. "I couldn't let it go." "That's not just letting it go. That's planning to propose. A week from now. It's the anniversary," he said. 2 years ago, on that date, I bought the ring. I never got to give it to her." My chest cracked. "Then why keep it? Why now?" His gaze dropped to the floor. "Because I thought if I kept the ring, I could keep her close. That maybe I didn't have to move on." Tears blurred my vision. "So what am I, Jay? Just some girl you borrowed warmth from in the cold?" His voice broke. "You're the first warmth I've felt since she died." I wanted to hate him. I wanted to throw his shirt at him, walk out, slam the door so loud it left a scar. But I didn't. Because heartbreak didn't come with rage, it came with ache. Deep, paralyzing ache. "I can't be her," I whispered. "I know," he said. "I won't try to compete with a ghost. You don't have to." I looked at him, shattered. "But you're still holding on, and I deserve someone who holds me like I'm the only one in the world." He stepped toward me, slow, deliberate. "You are." And then he did something I didn't expect. He walked to the drawer, picked up the ring, and dropped it into the fire. I watched the flames eat it, watched the past turn to ash. But even as I stood there, stunned, I felt something else. Guilt. Because deep down, I knew what I was about to do would break him. Later that night, while he slept beside me, I opened my laptop, typed a name into Google I wasn't supposed to. Olivia Bennett. There were photos, articles, memorials. But one name kept popping up beneath hers. Lucas Bennett, Jay's brother. There were lawsuits, accusations, even a business scandal tied to Olivia's death. But here's what stopped me cold. One line from a forgotten blog post. Some say Olivia's relationship with Lucas was far more complicated than it seemed. Wait, Lucas, not Jay? Why hadn't Jay ever told me? I leaned back in the chair, the air thick with confusion. The pieces weren't fitting. Olivia was engaged to Jay, but somehow Lucas was the one tangled in her legacy. Why was Jay carrying guilt that didn't belong to him? Unless he was protecting someone, and suddenly I wasn't sure who the villain was anymore. I didn't sleep that night. I lay beside Jay, watching him breathe, while the truth I'd unearthed sank deeper and deeper into my bones. Every article, every whisper, every clue pointed to one thing. Jay wasn't the villain. He was covering for someone. And that someone was his brother. Lucas. The same Lucas who found me at the bar, who smirked when he said Jay disappears when things get real. The same Lucas tied to shady business deals, scandals, and now, possibly Olivia's death. Jay had been shielding a storm I never saw coming. But why? And how deep did the damage go? The next morning, I told Jay I needed air, coffee, time to breathe. Instead, I went to Lucas. He met me in a sleek downtown office, smile sharp, eyes cold. "You've been digging," he said before I even spoke. "You were involved with Olivia," I said. "Weren't you?" He sat back, unfazed. "Define involved." My jaw clenched. "You slept with her." He shrugged. "She wanted Jay, but she liked games. And I never say no to a good game." I felt like I might throw up. "You were supposed to be his brother, and she was supposed to be his forever. But she kept coming back to me, until she didn't." "You think Jay doesn't know?" He leaned forward, voice colder now. "Jay knows everything, and he's been trying to erase me from the story ever since. Playing the grieving lover, carrying her ring, soaking in guilt that wasn't his." I swallowed, my hands trembling. He wasn't grieving. He was punishing himself for my sins. Lucas added smugly. "It's kind of poetic." I stood, disgusted. "You don't deserve to walk free." "You're not going to say anything," he said smoothly. "Because you love him." I paused. He wasn't wrong. But that love deserved truth, not poison. That night, I went back to Jay, and for the first time since this whole mess began, I saw him, really saw him. The way he carried grief like a second skin. The way he loved me without ever asking for anything back. I told him everything. The blog posts, the articles, my conversation with Lucas. He didn't interrupt, didn't flinch. He just stared out the window, jaw clenched, pain carved deep into his expression. "I knew," he said quietly. My heart dropped. "You knew what he did to her?" Jay nodded. "She told me the day before she died. She was ending things with him. For good. She chose me." And Lucas didn't take it well. Silence wrapped around us. "I was supposed to pick her up," Jay whispered. "But I was late. And when I got there, it was already done. The crash, the blood, the silence." I moved closer, barely breathing. "You've been protecting him all this time." Jay turned to me, eyes glassy. "He's my brother. The only family I have left." I couldn't prove anything. There was no evidence, just whispers. And I thought, maybe letting it all fall on me was better than destroying the only family I had. I took his face in my hands. "You don't owe him your soul." He broke down then, and I held him, like he once held me. We didn't make love that night. We just held on to broken people trying to stay above water. The next morning, I emailed every article, every document, every piece of proof I had to a journalist who had once covered Olivia's story. It was time the world knew the truth. Jay didn't stop me. He just looked at me like I was light, Like after years of drowning, someone had finally reached in and pulled him out. "I love you," he said, voice raw. "I know," I whispered, "and I'm not going anywhere." 3 weeks later, Lucas fled the country. Jay resigned from the company, said he wanted to start fresh somewhere quiet, where no ghosts could follow. He asked me to come with him, and I did, because when I gave him my body that night, I thought it would end there. But he reached deeper. He touched a part of me no one ever had. He didn't just take my soul, he gave me his.